one credit. And so if I have to run a process that has 10 steps and I'm going over 1,000 rows, that's 10,000 credits, right? And so now I'm going, you think, well, how important is the business process? Does it need to be automated? Probably still be cheaper to run it if you make your workflow efficient, than having it be done manually when it comes to man hours and labor and consistency and accuracy, probably. But when I look at the pricing of all the tools, my brain starts going. And I look at N8N and they bill per execution. So what that means is you pay one credit for running the whole workflow. So it doesn't matter if I'm processing a spreadsheet with 10,000 rows. N8N says if you do it all in one run, it's one run. Really awesome. PipeDream says you pay a credit for almost every 30 seconds-ish of execution, I think, and based off how much capacity or compute your workflow needs. So I'm going to pay for memory, and I'm going to pay for the time the execution runs. And that just comes down to whether or not I need the other tools that PipeDream provides. And so as far as pricing goes, I think N8N is the most flexible. It's also more powerful than the other ones. But here's the balance. What who is the users who are building the workflows? Because if I give a regular business user who doesn't, I mean, I just talked about pagination, concurrency, memory, rate limits, like there are lots of things I just said there. If that doesn't mean anything to the user on the other side of this, then giving them N8N or PipeDream is going to be more of a hindrance to them building a solution to begin with, right? Those aren't necessarily, I would say, business user tools. Those are power user tools. And so for that business user, I might just say most of the business can use Make, and you coordinate with your lead of IT or your business analyst to go back and decide whether or not the business process you're automating is significant enough to not be managed by a tool like that because of cost. Right? So you can put some controls in place, but when it comes to automated work, I think the first question is how do we get somebody unstuck or unblocked? And what tools make it accessible? And so I think that's why organizations end up using hybrid tools. But again, since a lot of my background is in engineering and product and software, when the most common denominator across your teams are people who can build software, it changes what tools that team or organization might use, right? When the most common denominator is people who would be scared to look at, an N8N workflow, not because they can't figure it out, it's because it's overwhelmed. I shouldn't say scared, it's overwhelmed. You don't know what does what. The words mean different things. There's no context. I'm going to skew to a more business user-friendly tool because that unblocks more of the organization. If the real goal is that automation should make its way to as many people as possible. Or you kind of go in the middle and you say, well, teams can have somebody who builds for them, and we pick a tool for the builders within the organization.
Nice. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Mel, did I answer your thoughts about N8N versus Make? Yeah, I thought about that, and I'm using N8N to run my own little suite of agents in my business right now. And I have my agents show up in Slack, in ChatGPT, and in Telegram. And because of cost, not only, oh, the other benefit of N8N is that I can host it on my own server. So I don't have to run it on their cloud. I can host it on my own, which takes away the concern about cost and executions anyways. So the same way you would host your own WordPress website, you host your own N8N installation,